pretty good. Hey everybody, welcome to just me doing music. It's not really a gaming session, but pretty good. Might as well open it up to you guys to see, what I actually listen to outside of here. So, just to preface this, got a new phone, which is good. Unfortunately, was not able to transfer all my music from there to here, and I usually pop that in when I read. So that there's two, I guess, qualifications that I have for music I listen to when I read. One is no lyrics, or at least indecipherable, and two is non-distracting. So like video game soundtracks are the best thing to go for this. So what is this called? This is called When the Smoke Clears by Jeffrey Towser. And I have a lot of stuff on my computer that's left over from the big change, whatever you want to call it. Let's call this new folder. Reading music. There we go. So I'd like, and I don't need it too often. I enjoy the sounds of nature and all that stuff, but it's nice if like my kids are playing Ninja Turtles in the background or something like that, and I'm popping down with it. I read a lot. I read way more than I game. I think it's important to read. It's very important to read. If you're not reading, I strongly suggest you read more than you play games. That's just me. I'm liking this one though. Alright, next. That one's definitely a go-to. This is called Read the Sign. Welcome to our town. I'm not sure what games these come from either. It's a beautiful day out here in Pennsylvania. I actually got a hard workout in right after doing church and shopping, did trash, did chores. I feel accomplished. And I'm like, I'm going to read. Actually, I'm just going to listen to music because we have a meeting tonight again. Talk about deep theological things and bettering yourself. So I'll just relax for a minute. I think that's good. Read the Sign. This one's called The First Meeting. That was from Final Fantasy IV. It's called First Meeting, the Shadow Forest. Forest of the Black Moon. This is all originally for, like when I was making that Seek Truth video. If you don't know how to get to that, just ask around on the Discord. I'll show it to you. This is called Gario, Transforming Gaia, Kuja's theme. Oh, Final Fantasy IX? I think that's what Kuja's from. Might be dating myself. So I guess while I'm doing this, might as well go over some of the other talking points that are going on in the good spirited world. We got a it's definitely a keeper. Copy. Paste. It's chill enough. I really like piano. Piano's so good to read to. So I just started a Facebook group on it. It's called Heart and Mind Coffee Talks. Let's try this. Tundra of Dwarves, Land of the Dwarves by Long Dow. But it's we're going to talk about technology. Specifically, I made it a very broad topic, because if you make it broad, just anybody can rhyme that theme. and you can just bring your talking points to the table. So for you guys who don't know, every Saturday, unless I have a lecture or something like that, I tend to meet at a coffee shop and invite everybody I know, long-term friends, people I just met, every type of worldview, with the concept that it's good to be passionate about ideas, it's good to be critical about ideas. You have to let your idea be offended. But we don't offend people. We don't do ad hominem attacks. You don't attack the person themselves. I remember this is all from Final Fantasy IV. This is just awesome. That's a copy paste. I love multitasking. Path of Deception, Land of the Summons. This is a very, very, very different rendition than what I remember. I'm digging it though. It's a little bit too upbeat to read too. I'll get up and start just dancing, doing a kata or something. I don't know. But anyway, the kind of, I gotta stop. I can't do that one. I'm gonna stop eventually. Unforgettable Sorrow. It does seem like a lot of the sadder songs and the slower songs are better to read too. But anyway, the Saturday talks are quite interesting. They you go to the discussion, right? Like this is the first time I ever put a talking point. Otherwise, I'm just like, come on, let's talk about culture, and I just make it a giant, broad, whatever. So I'm trying to lead the discussion and at least make it sort of purposeful instead of just, getting up on it, because I know what I want to say. And everybody, believe it or not, like so many people want to talk, especially after this lockdown crap. And they want to get engaged, and they want to discuss, and they want to... Everybody, like, how many people you know have a platform? Like yourself, how many times have you told somebody your worldview, or audibly told somebody what you believed in, and had some critical thinking come back your way to your worldview? Because you can sit there on Twitter all day, and no one will ever tell you what's wrong. And if they do, they'll be like, well, I don't even know you, so... Boom. So that's a keeper. The Crystalline Temple. Oh, this is just a general Final Fantasy opening. I like it. So this current topic is going to be on technology, specifically like mass information and where it's come, and just like maybe following the general history. What I put out there was like, this is the don't do that. Specifically where it's come from, where it's going, what its effects it has on it, how we should deal with it culturally. Because no matter what worldview you're at, trying to find meaning in culture, or at least analyzing the culture that's going on at the moment, is very important. And talking about what to do, what not to do. Because there's one thing, ideas always have consequences. One thing to have an idea. This one seems too intense. Like Indians. It's a little bit too jivey. I like it, but I could see myself losing my train of thought just going to the coolness of the music. It's gotta be fun. Yeah. Tabor. Hello. It's the water theme from Final Fantasy VII. No such thing as the Promised Land. Let's give it a minute. It's a 5-minute song, so these usually have some build-up. It's over 3 minutes. It usually has varying themes. Yeah, I gotta say no to this one. This is Cave Story, H2O remix. I remember this song. I'm actually gonna copy-paste it. Kaboom. So technology is just one thing. Mass information is another one. But specific on a conversational point of mass information. Because there's only a couple times in history where information went from, you know, here to mass spread, to mass spread, to mass. It never like is just a simple thing. If you look at the map of it, what is it like? First we have audible language, then we have written, the mind memorizes, and we have written language, and then we have paper, and then we have the printing press, and then we have phones, and then we have, you know what I mean? It's neat kind of thing. Yeah, music stream's fine. Just listen. Let me dig this. If you guys haven't played Cave Story before, because it was just made by one dude in Korea, and Koreans tend to do a lot of things in excess. You coming out? Come on. There you go. I just heard, so today, if you haven't seen it, I'd strongly recommend, go on, yeah, we copy pasted that one. This is Chrono Cross Anti-Annihilation Matrix. Jordan Peterson was talking about a lady in North Korea who literally faced starvation, right from starvation to slavery. It's about 4 minutes, if you get a chance. But listening to him talk about it, it's oh, stop headbutting the mic, you silly kitty. That's a little bit too much. Yeah, a little bit too many drums. This is the Font of Life. OC remix. I love you, cat. You're adorable. But this girl, it tells about this Korean lady who went from literally starvation to slavery to selling her own mother, going to South Korea, and like Orwell's 1984 was just one of her biggest inspirations, so she wanted to be a writer. She came over here, and she passed 0 through high school in a year. She studied enough to like just pass all in a year. So like it's incredible. She had to go to the hospital because she studied too much. Her book, or it was a small room full of books. She forgot to eat. She was studying so much. When was the last time we did this? Like it gives you a different sense of gratitude to what is and what is not important. When you come from that kind of life. I really like this song. I don't see it going anywhere like crazy. I don't think it's probably not gonna go to a giant electric guitar solo or something. But then she came to the secular universities over here in America, and she's like, it was a big waste of my time. Because of political correctness, I felt like I couldn't say anything that went against the cultural norms. And she's like, I felt like I was back in North Korea. And you're like, and like you listen to this story and you're just like, holy crap. And that's just that this is in the universities right now. This is out of control. So that's one of the reasons I like getting together with people and talking, because we can seek out education. It's good. Yeah, copy paste that one. This one's called, again, from Chrono Cross. Apparently I have a lot of these. Goldov Shaman. Alright, buddy? A little itchy ear. All the bugs are out now, huh? Kitty's gonna get some fleas on him. Yeah. And Jordan Peterson's one of the guys, his biggest, one of the things that set him off is he rejected the Canadian belief, sorry, the, whatever they call it, the Prime Minister of Canada? I don't even know what they call him, the Emperor? Who knows? The Grand Galaxy Coordinator? Whatever the head guy is in Canada, because they're way more woke than we are here in America. He basically was forcing people, he was gonna force people to use the pronouns that the government said they had to use. And he's like, I've done my homework. Every time this happens, where the government tells you have to say certain things, that's thought control. that leads to communism. That leads to totalitarianism. That leads to millions and millions of people dying, and I fundamentally detest it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to stand up in my seat and give him a standing ovation just for saying that. He was just saying it like passionately, because what you expose yourself to, you're usually generally passionate about. I'm gonna fast forward this one. You know what? This one's mellow enough. I think I'm gonna keep it. Copy. Paste. Hydra Shadow. The Governor Emperor. Dude, we have some insane stuff going on in this world. Gavin Newsom got recalled, right? I honestly haven't been paying attention to, like... Honestly, haven't been paying attention. I've been listening to more in my studies specifically, toward charting the path of thought that led us from there to here in multiple venues. So the past, like, 2-3 weeks, I haven't really put my ear and my head, my heart into the local media. Besides the presidential address or whatever the heck it was that put everybody to sleep. It like hypnotized you into radicalism. I'm keeping this one. That's not that much of a twist. This one's called Morning Sunlight. Oh, it's Chrono Trigger. I can't say I'm going to automatically keep it, but it's just about there. This game has a real, like, place in my heart. And I'm going to spoil it for you if you haven't played it before. Super Nintendo, right? There's a point in the game. This is the song that plays when Chrono wakes up. You play Chrono. He's a dude that doesn't talk, like Link, right? From Legend of Zelda. And you're the main character, and you meet this girl named Marl, and your best friend's Luca, and you meet this robot and this, like, frog dude, and you go through time. It's a time traveling game, and this is the first game in, like, Super Nintendo that has, like, 30 something endings, depending upon when you beat the game and what you did in the past. It's really cool. And you can New Game Plus it, because then if it's too tough for you to beat the first time around, you can beat it the second time around with all your dudes already buffed. So you can just choose. Literally, meet the girl, go beat the boss. And see what happens. So, yeah, I'm keeping this one. Morning Sunlight. This is Door to the End of Time. Copy. Paste. Pause for music. So what happens is, you eventually find out Lavos ends the world, because you get to the point of after the end of the world, where it's literally dystopia. There's no food, there's no atmosphere. Well, there's atmosphere. There's, like, no sunlight. People are starving to death. You literally walk in on people starving to death. It's quite cryptic. Technology has already hit an end point. You get to witness the end of the world at one point in the game, which is really very depressing. And then, like, everyone just, like, you see the sense of despair on these people are like, we just watched the end of the world. This is nuts. And they're like, no, we can go back and change. And you're just like, yeah, let's go do it. And then you fight Lavos, this thing that ends the world. And he's about to vaporize everybody. And as Chrono, he throws himself in front of the thing's mouth and diverts the blast and gets himself disintegrated. So then you're like, that's my main character I put all my points into. like he's been through with me the whole game. And now he's gone. And you're playing all these secondary characters, but I mean, that says a lot about leadership and action. How much action is important, and a unifying force is not necessarily a voice. It's a call to a cause. So they're all like, you could beat the game right then, or you go back to the end of time, which is kind of ironic because we're playing the Door to the End of Time song right now. I'm keeping this one. So this one's called Cosmic Whispers. You go to the end of time. The guy that's sitting there at the end of time, he's like one of the elders or something like that. He's like, there's a way to save him. So you go back right when he's you like freeze time right in the middle of it, right at the end of it, and right as he's about to get vaporized, you have to go through all this like convoluted stuff and find a dummy that looks just like Chrono and replace him with it. Sorry, man. My allergies are just crazy awesome today. You find that dummy, you replace him with him, you take him back. It's a time egg. You find a time egg. And Marl, who's this like beautiful blonde princess, just looks at him and just like jumps on him, hugs him, and says, "Don't you ever do that again." And that's the first moment in my life I actually felt sad at a video game. It was really pretty cool. Thinking about it, but that kind of story where like you need that unifying figure. You need the person to take charge. You need that person who willing to risk, right? Because there are certain things you do in the beginning of the game when you're meeting Marl, because she's a princess. She runs away. She pretends she's not one because she just wants to go hang out at a thing, but her dad's like, no, you're a princess. You can't do that kind of stuff. And so she does it anyway. And like you can, if you bump into her and then they hold you in a court trial, and you answer all these questions like, did you run into the princess? What'd you do first? Did you pick up her necklace or see if she was okay? And depending upon what you did, you got a guilty or an innocent verdict at that point in the game. It was really quite, like nothing ever, at least that I played, existed like that before. We'll take, not a big fan of xylophones. But this is kind of drony enough, I think I could take it. Gale of the Ages. It's piano, it's almost a go-to. But yeah, man, because like at that point of the game, you internalize them what Chrono did, because Chrono's just like, I threw myself in front of him. Next thing you know, I'm being hugged by this chick. What happened? So the story and the struggle that they did is only in their minds. They have to regurgitate that story to him. It's a different, like, in-depth way of looking at it. It's a 16-bit game that came out in like the 1990s, 1980s, 1990s, 1992. I don't even know. But still, it's one of those moments, at least in my life. That's why Chrono Trigger, like all these Chrono Trigger songs, I'm probably just gonna copy paste all of them. But they're worth giving a listen to. Into the Green Gloom. I don't know if you guys ever had a sorrowful moment in video games. Usually it's fit with cinematics, but the storylines, it's quite important. And at that point of the game, there was no lyrics. If there were lyrics in a 16-bit game, they were really very poorly done. And you probably shouldn't pay attention to them. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they made him say something. Why would you do that? So modern games now, like The Last of Us and stuff like that, I mean, you could put some serious kind of emotion into that kind of thing. It's tough to get that specific storyline if you take a game like Final Fantasy VII with the audible translation and the body language that's involved in the original language, because body language does speak with the language itself. It's difficult to translate that. Even if you just move the lips, it's difficult to translate that. But when you translate just the words in the text, you can read it as if you understand it. Specifically with the characters that are 16-bit, they only have like 6 sprite animations or something like that. Just get me... I can deal with that. The Green Gloom. Island in the Sky. Some talented people here, dude. At ocremix.org is where I'm getting like all this from. I might get some copyright infringement, but probably will check on some Child of Light, John Wick, a couple other. Because it's my own personal reading music. So. There's this point in the game in Chrono Trigger when you go to like it's called the Middle Ages. The entire planet's covered with snow, except for this floating island where all the magic users are on it. This is the song that plays once you go to this time period. You're trapped there, and you figure out you can climb like a chain that's linked up to this giant floating island. And this is music that plays in the background when you get there. And it's a beautiful area. Everybody can use magic. It's green. It's flourishing. It's pretty awesome. You get to meet Magus. Magus starts out as like the initial bad guy. It's hard to explain the entire story. It's roughly like a small book. But you see him in kid form. He looks like a vampire character. He fights with a sickle, and he's like one of the ultimate magic users. And he survives for hundreds of years. I think I'm actually gonna skip this one. It's a little bit too. The drums just kind of snap in my ears. This one's called The Dark Defender. Still on Chrono Trigger. Keeping it. The depetrification of the submerged forest. What? Depetrify a forest. Let's go. I hear tiny footprints. I hear a little sniff. Or two sniffs. I'm not playing anything on him. I'm listening to music. I'm trying to find some peaceful music to listen to.
Why did I hear you?
Oh, I'm talking to my friends online. You're gonna make the kitty run. Bloop. Boop in his nose. I don't know if he likes that. I like the sound of a depetrified forest. Let's do it. All right, this next one's actually from Dark Souls. Wow. Fire fade with me. It doesn't really flow well. This one's called Demon Souls Abandoned by God. Wow, that's really depressing. Remember this song. I was actually reading Nietzsche when this song came on. And then Freud, but I mean, they're both quite depressing if you think about it. One Nietzsche doesn't say, he disbelieves in existentialism and things beyond themselves. He just wanted to get rid of the traditional God. Oh gosh, girl. All right, Kat, what are your long-term plans? Let's go down here. Here we are. He's more scared of the 4-year-old than anything else in his entire kitty life. But then Freud came around, and all of his he really didn't have many experiments, but he made just the whole idea that your identity is only your sex. The end. And only your sex drive. So both are actually quite depressing.
What's this?
That was my to-do list for Friday, and I did everything except for call for my car inspection.
We gotta go get clothes from Grandma.
We do gotta get clothes from Grandma. You're right. This is
Grandma
from.
made some different clothes for me and Mama.
This one's from
I
Diablo
think
2
for
called
you-
Children of Zakarum.
And I think for you and Mommy too.
You think my mom got me some clothes? Well, that sounds like her.
No, Grandma.
Well, yeah, she's your grandma. She's my mom.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Grammy is Grammy is our mom's. Grammy is mom.
Grammy is your mom's mom.
Grammy is your mom.
Your mom's mom.
My mom's mom.
She's your mom's mom. Your mom's mom. Your mom's mom. Actually, I like this one. This might make me read a little faster.
Hey Dad,
What?
my
Kitty cat was sitting on my lap, so I didn't move a muscle because it's nice having a cat on your lap and it'll scratch me if I move. So my knee had to go against a hard surface. Let's get some lines in it.
Can I
That
please
happens.
get on the lap?
Oh, well, come on, little whap getter. Oh my gosh, girl. I think I'm gonna keep this one. Watch where your hands are going. Ancestry is confusing. Happy Mother's Day! Oh, thank you. I've been a fine mother. Hello, Martin. I'm gonna keep this one. It is kind of snap at me, but you did say Morgers Day, but I read it so fast it didn't really matter. I'm gonna keep this. Diablo 2, Children of Zakarum. This is from Donkey Kong Country 3, called Footloose Falls. You know, I can. Hold on. I think I can customize it where it'll just pop up on this playlist thing. Let me see if I can do this. Preferences. There we go. Move your hand. Little girl. You want to get down? Audio. This one's a little too nuts. This is another one from Donkey Kong Country called Kong's Final Swim. Show media title on video start. Let's try that. Oh my gosh, girl. What are you doing?
I landed like this because soon I was gonna fart.
Oh, you got off me to fart. Well, I guess that's good etiquette.
I was doing this.
Okay. Well, you want to? What are your long-term plans? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Dad.
Yeah.
Can you play Skull?
No, not playing anything today, honey.
But
Actually, I gotta leave soon. Go to the men's meeting.
can you do Little Skull?
This one looks pretty good. No, I'm not. This one actually seems pretty good. No, I'm not gonna do some skull. This one's again from DK. Well, let's see. No, it didn't show up. Boo. So I don't know what I did. Oh, it's from on-screen display? Maybe that's why it didn't work. Save. Let me, video, audio, visualizations, disable. I guess that kind of works. Yeah, I don't like it. Guitars kind of mess up the rhythm when you're reading. Hold on. Let me try that again. Preferences. Input codecs, subtitles, or show media title on video start. But I guess that's not technically an audio. It's audio, not a video. Oh, VLC. Maybe I gotta restart it for this to work. That sounds like something VLC would make me do. Save. This is from Final Fantasy II called Prelude Matsude. Right. It's PRELUEMATSUDE. Prelude Matsude. I don't know, dude. Exactly. You got it.
I did it, Dad.
High five. Did it again. This song sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can read to it. Like I'll listen to this and be like, wow, that's a cool song. Boom, lost my train of thought. I don't know. Well, then I won't read. The whole point of this music is we gotta focus on purpose. Little girl, stop moving your arm. I gotta use my mouse. Down you go. See you later. Perpetual motion machine. This is called Progressive Memory. Final Fantasy IV, Progressive Memory. Go downstairs and watch it. You ask her if you can watch something instead. It's a little too nuts. Alright. This is called The Dark from Final Fantasy IV. I guess we'll just be doing OG remix songs today because I do have to go at some point. What do I have for 3D Spectrum? Okay, there we go. At least we know something's being played. Dude, she does not stop. I love it. I'm gonna fall asleep playing with this playing. Yeah, it has to be motivational. That's the other part of it. It's very specific what kind of music is good for reading. People always learn like, I don't understand how you can listen to music and read at the same time. I'm like, well, it's a fine science. You gotta have the right music. Flight Over the Enchanted Forest. It's from Final Fantasy V. Dude, I'm keeping that one. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is called Final Fantasy VI: A Legacy Forgotten. Oh man, I have so many Final Fantasy VI songs. That game is another special point in my heart. I'll talk about dystopia. Hey, babe.
Hey.
I'm recording. What's up?
Just
You're on your knees.
Watching you record.
You watching me record? Okay. We've been reflecting upon a lot of dystopian worlds, and that's where a lot of this stuff comes from. You know, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy IV, the world's being destroyed. Final Fantasy V, I forget that game. Final Fantasy VI, I don't think I'm keeping this one because I think it goes a little nuts here. It goes like up and down.
I don't know. Sounds pretty evenly.
It's my preference.
Pretty even today. It is your preference. Sounds like a decent medley.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Nope. Because that right there will break my focus.
Oh.
It's up and down. It's a beautiful music piece. I'm looking for stuff to read to.
I understand.
But like this is one where you get to witness a guy getting incredible power and then literally ripping the world apart. And then how you deal with that. And some pretty depressing stuff happens. But
Mother's Day.
But when the, Martin Centered said that to me.
Aww.
I know, I'm a great mom.
You are a great mom.
City Corner Lullaby. This is a rendition of the town theme. I'm definitely keeping that one. I remember it. This is called Death on the Snowfield. That sounds cheery.
You're not going to church tonight, are you?
I was going to. Is that okay?
Oh, what time is it?
6:18. I gotta be there at 7.
Oh, at 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it started at 6 for some reason.
Oh, good. I verified with Jay.
Okay.
Is it 6:30? He's like, nah, 7. All right.
No worries.
All right.
See you later.
See ya. I'm keeping this one. Oh yeah, that's so chill. This is called Following Forgotten. Another Final Fantasy VI theme. Oh, this is from Narsh, like the first snow town you get to. It's amazing how much of this stuff you remember. We were talking in our small group at the C.S. Lewis Institute this past Saturday, and the lady was leading the discussion. It was about a conversation about apologetics. I forget how it even got up, but we go so on the train of culture because that's what we focus on, and talking with people. There's no underlying premise or some giant plan. We literally just want to talk with people about truth, preferably leading to and from the cross, but not in a dogmatic sense. Does this make sense to you? Because it makes sense to me. And I start talking about my kids, and like she's gonna be 10 in October. That's nuts. She's like, yeah, but she's not just 10. She's also 9, and she's also 8 and 7 and 6. Because we were talking about like my 4-year-old will jump on me. Okay, cool. She's like 30 pounds maybe. But then my 9-year-old do the same exact thing, and wonder why it hurts her so much more. Gravity affects you more, honey. You're a little heavier now. It was just a neat thing to think about, that, I'm on the doorsteps of 40. May 15th, I'll be 40 years old. I've never been 40 years old before. I guess you could always say that about your birthday, but it's your 4th decade. I'm entering it. It's quite a milestone. I'm keeping this one. Following Forgotten. This one is called Gestalian Sonata. So but I can also see this, right? You can see this when as you live. You're not just your age. You are every single age beforehand. But for men, it's a little bit different, because I think so. So a woman will always be a daughter. You'll always have that father figure. And and daughters keep families together, traditionally, unless by and large, not just like there's always an exception. Don't make the exception the rule, because then you're flipping reality on its head. You always look at the normative stuff. That's how we tell what truth is, and we use that to show us what exceptions are. By and large, usually ladies keep families together. But for men, there's like a cutoff, and scripturally it says a man will leave his family and cleave to his wife. There's a cutoff that every young man needs at some point from a father figure to say you got what it takes, and boom, and you start growing. You notice you stand a little taller. If you don't get this, it's extremely devastating. They call it delayed adolescence. I'm keeping this one; it's pretty good. It's one of the things they call it. This is called Katabasis. Sounds like the end theme. We're still sticking on Final Fantasy VI for the time being. But you can feel this, right? You have an amazing tie to the past, but you're looking forward to the eternal of the future. You're looking forward to potential. You're looking forward to things that might happen, and the more you are tried at things that you know are adversity. I can keep this one. The stronger you get, and the more confident you get that you might be able to do it again. Now that doesn't guarantee success, because then that gets rid of the thrill. It gets rid of the newness of the experience, and you always, especially if you are a thrill seeker, you always need more and more of this kind of thing. This one's called Land of the Eidolons. Eidolons. And any psychologist worth salt will say to you, if you want to overcome something that's detrimental and strikes fear in you, you expose yourself to it. Not all at once, because that's traumatizing, but a little bit at a time. Which is why, like, if you go to universities these days, you see safe rooms. They want to shelter you. They want to isolate you. They want to lock you down if you wish to. You don't have to deal with that kind of adversity. But you should know how to. Christ even says to learn how to turn the other cheek. Someone hits you over here, turn the other cheek. This one's hurting a bit, but you got two. You expose yourself to that adversity specific to your fears, so you can overcome them. And when you overcome them and you don't have the specific weakness that you know about and you have to work on, you tend to become a little bit better in life. You tend to stand a little straighter, be a little stronger. And this type of spiritual, this type of mental fortitude that you gain is also mirrored in the physical. The same thing works with your body and your muscles, and your twitch muscles, and your strength muscles, and your mass, and your diet. You might not be able to quit soda, but you can cut back a little at a time. There is the rare persons, just like cigarettes, you can quit. Cold turkey, it's miserable for you and everybody around you, but you can do it. Forget if I copy this. It's a pretty good song. I didn't. This one's called The Little Painter Girl. Dude, I remember this chick. Okay, so this story is worth repeating, I guess, from Final Fantasy VI. This girl... you meet this guy named Shadow. He's literally a ninja. Like, he looks like a ninja, and everyone's like, don't talk to that guy. He's got a dog. It's called Interceptor. And, like, this is the guy you don't mess with. He is legit. If you read the best analogy, we're gonna take a 2-layer story here now. The Sword of Shannara, which is by Terry Brooks. Fantastic book. Never ever watched the series that was by MTV. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. Especially what they did with Al-Anon. But what happens is they're in the woods. There's a bunch of dwarves and I think orcs taking these 2 half-elves who happen to have magic. They're captive. They're beat. They're starving. And Garrett Jax, he's just this dude that's cloaked, sitting by the river, and they start harassing him, and he just turns to them, and they start attacking him, and he literally, like, he decimates like 7 or 8 guys with a sword. Like, it's amazing to read about these kind of things, or because you can envision this kind of person who's so tactical, who can just do things. We were talking about earlier the concept of the man who has action, and how action is so important, and there's nothing more thrilling or risk-taking than the person who puts himself in that kind of adversity, who's the gatherer of people, of ideas, and the motivator. You don't necessarily have to express something that's individualistic. You actually let go of yourself for the greater cause, and you embody something else, but you're still a person. You live for somebody else. This is a big thing with Jesus. Jesus lived by his Father's rule, not his own. That's why he was who he was. He didn't live by his own set code. This one's called Phantom Midnight. Definitely keeping the little painter girl. So Garrett Jax, he basically kills every guy who tries to get onto him. And then there's a dwarf there with an axe in his hand, doesn't move. He's like, and Garrett Jax is like, what about you? He's like, nah, it's all right. I heard a story about you. 5 guys came to kill you, and you were unarmed and beat them all. I'm good. It's just like, that's all right. And then I just saw what you did. So you're that guy of action. Later on, this guy Garrett Jax, they're on a boat. They get overtaken by a kraken. This thing is wrapping its tentacles around the ship. Garrett Jax, I guess, was sleeping in the boat, grabs a harpoon, and starts jumping off the thing's tentacles, and then eventually stabs it in the eye, and you see it go down. He saves the ship. You don't know what happened to him. He shows up later, because of course he does. He's the freaking man. And they meet these things. They're like giant, fast, intelligent alligators. And Al-Anon's like they can only be killed by magic. And Al-Anon has to shove his hand down one's throat and basically blow it up from the inside. But because it bit him, he died of poison. And he's like, they can't be killed except by magic. It's impossible. So Garrett Jax is like, he didn't say this, but another way, like after he kills that one, they think that's it, but then another one comes, and Garrett Jax is like, I got this. But they're like, you can't kill it. He's like, no, I got it. It jumps at him. He cuts it 3 times in the air before the thing even lands. It's pretty amazing. I get this kind of stuff resonates with me. I'm gonna keep this one too. It's pretty neat, pretty chill. This is called Visions of Celes. Here's another character worth mentioning. So after they're done doing the it's called the Sword of Shannara. There's a wish song of Shannara. After they're done and they do their thing, they come back. They find Garrett Jax with his sword propped up against a tree. He is dead. But they see the creature on the ground in pieces. He killed the thing that was unkillable. Now, if that isn't a testament to, like, willpower, I don't know what. And that's why we like movies like John Wick so much. You see the guy, he's so tired. But his sheer force of will, like, I have to block. Just wakes up out of a desensitized coma. How many broken bones does that guy have in his back? They literally throw him down like a story-and-a-half bar onto his back. And he's just like, gun. And shoots at the guy up in the rafters. You're just like, what? No, dude, you got no spine left. But I mean, it's just John Wick, so whatevs, man. Celes is a character that was captured and was part of the Empire, but defected, and they chained her up and tortured her. Like it's not often you see a peaceful Nintendo game with the sprite characters having a lady chained up against the wall and beating her up. That's what you get to see here. It's just like, holy crap, are they really doing that? And this is basically the story about her life, and they artificially infused her with magical powers. The other character, Terra, who's the main center of the story that starts out, but once the world gets destroyed, it splits. It's no longer around Terra, it's around Celes. Celes is the main character. She wakes up on a beach. Apparently she was in a coma, and she gets fed by like her father, Sid, who was the person that actually infused her with that magic. She ultimately rejected that kind of life. She couldn't take it. But Terra's like her mother was a Edeon or Eldion or whatever they are, and her father was that, and her mother was a human, and she's like the composition of that. So that's why she has natural magic powers, and the Empire's like siphoning all the magic out of these beasts in another dimension, basically othering them and siphoning their powers out of them and just killing them. But then when this is the dystopian world, you see Celes, who's trying to reunite everybody, because Kefka's still up there. He's in his tower. He just ruined the world and he's getting ready to destroy it even further, because he has this giant beam that can just go literally across the globe and annihilate everything. And he's like, we gotta try. You have to at least try. And that's the message. That's the one that resonates. That's a sense of adventure we all have. You have to at least try. If you don't try, you can lose a fight, but you can't win a surrender. That's per Andrew Clavin. So anyway, there's your rant for the day. We're gonna end on this song. It's called Ares Lives. This is the song of Final Fantasy VII. Also a very neat, like that was a full-on book of a game. Covers a lot of areas, a lot of topics. But there was always like, I bet you Ares can come back, but there's a way to get her. But besides a Game Genie, there was not. This is good. I gotta keep it. Anyway, that'll do it. I gotta get over to church, and we're gonna talk about. I think it's John Eldridge talking about I think we were talking about dreams last time. The consistency of dreams and how they affect. How sometimes you just let them go without even thinking about them. But even dreams are it's you throwing yourself into the chaos, back to the chaos, because we are literally born out of the chaos, out of the nothingness into the somethingness. And you can go into a coma for a long time and come right back to reality just fine. But if you stay in this real world and don't go back to your original format, that dream world, we're not even sure what it is, you will literally lose your mind. You will not be able to be coherent in reality. You have to go to sleep. It's just neat. It's a neat thing to think about. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, click the like button, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I might do a couple more of these. I don't know. We'll be back tomorrow for some more games. I'll see you later. Take care.